This is a video I'm making for Joe, a young man who's currently working in retail and trying to launch a digital marketing business, but he's currently struggling. He said he was sick and tired of being poor, but he didn't know how to get out. We were on a call and he wanted to get business funding, but since he didn't have that much traction in his business yet, he was worried about qualifying for funding, getting into debt, and being stuck with it if the business failed. So I want to walk you through the 3 different scenarios that could happen here and how to get out of that problem. Before we dive in, I want to talk about something that I think is pretty interesting. So whenever someone hears about business funding, they think debt. Dave Ramsey pops up and he tells you pay off everything, never actually carry any debt, it's really bad for you, right? But people are very willing and able to go to college and get a student loan, right? And student loans are really expensive. And what's the benefit here of actually going to college and getting a student loan? The purpose is for you to actually improve your skills with the promise of, on the back end, getting a job and making more money, right? So what does the actual financial investment look like with college? So whenever you go to college, you're going into debt about, let's say, $50,000, and you're learning for a 4-year period, and you're hoping that at the end of the 4 years, you can go out there and get a job and make an average entry-level salary, right? Which might be $50,000, okay? So you go into debt $50,000, you wait 4 years. Thankfully, most student loans, they don't make you pay anything during that student period, but you exit college and you hope that you get a job, but we know that nowadays there's so many people that have college degrees that it's kind of become commoditized, and it's not that big of a factor when it comes to actually getting a job. And so you're not actually guaranteed a job when you get out of college. So now you might spend a couple months looking for a job. Let's say you do get one, and now you get that entry-level salary for $50,000. So this might have taken you 4.5 years to go into the $50,000 debt, learn some skills, right, that get you an entry-level job. So that's the debt that's no one's scared about. That's the debt that everyone thinks is totally acceptable and normal. But whenever we talk about business funding and qualifying for $50K at 0% interest for your business, all of a sudden it's very, very scary, right? But to put it in perspective, let's say you qualify for the same $50,000 under your business. So number one, the business loan is not going to show up on your personal credit. So your personal credit remains clean, does not affect it because the debt is attached to your business's EIN number. The next factor is that now you're able to use this debt for no cost for an entire year, which allows you to try different things out and test. But most importantly, it's your funding to put it towards whatever you want. So if you want to work with specific coaches or mentors, you want to learn a very specific skill, you're able to really improve your skills so much faster when it comes to outside of the basic education system, basically. And I think the online e-learning space is growing so fast because people see so much value in it. So if you were to qualify for $50K of funding, the same amount of debt that you would have gone into if you were going to college, now you could actually hire the coaches and mentors that are going to teach you the exact business that you want to run. Let's say that, for example, even if you wanted to maybe not launch a business and you want to do online sales, right? You can actually become a closer for companies, and you can learn this skill set to make money online, remote, work when you want, don't have to deal with clients. You can make over $10,000 a month very easily. And all you have to do in this case, you could get some funding, put it towards a coaching program or two. That might actually cost you $10,000, right? And then after 2 or 3 months, once you learn the skill, you get placed into a company and you start to make $10,000 a month, right? So you might get your money back right away or very quickly. And then another situation you could do is that maybe you actually want to launch a business, and so you don't know so much about the actual business industry itself. So you can hire a coach to teach you a specific skill set. So for me, I hired a couple different coaches and I signed up for a course to learn about credit and funding. And then once I actually understood the skill set, then I wanted to learn how to basically monetize my skill set. So then I went out and I hired coaches and mentors to teach me about marketing and content. So with that, now I'm going into debt for my own education. So at this point, I probably spent $20,000 or $30,000 to actually learn all this. But then I launched my business, right? Now I have all these skill sets that are very valuable to the marketplace, and I have extra funding to actually put towards the ads. And so whenever you're actually running a business, the goal here is to produce a ROAS. And that basically means that whenever you put $1 into your business, you're expecting to make 3, 4, 5, up to 8x on your dollar that very same month. So compared to this student loan in which you're going into debt, hoping that 4 or 5 years later, you're going to be able to basically make 50K a year after going into debt 50K. With your business, if you're spending 10K a month, I'm hoping to make at least 30 or 40,000 every single month, right? So your earning potential is just so much higher because I'm able to specifically choose the skill set I want. So not just a general finance degree that basically allows me to dabble in banking or what have you. I'm developing a very specific skill through the funding and the coaches that I hire, and then I can put that towards the business that I actually want to run. So that's the entire different mindset that I think really speaks to funding and how it's so powerful. So let's say that for whatever reason you get some funding and now the business doesn't work. So let's talk about the different scenarios on how to actually get out of that problem. So you're probably not going to expect the first one here, but basically you have to push through. If you go into business, you have to have confidence in whatever you're selling and in your actual results with your clients. So if you enter into business, you're most likely putting your time and your money into your different softwares, your team, and potentially running ads as well. So basically, whenever you get funding, you're just doing this at scale. So whenever you actually qualify for business funding, I think you should be confident in whatever you're actually putting the funding towards. This is really not meant to be just a gamble. So if you actually qualify for the funding and things don't quite work out with your business or your investment, you do have quite a long time to actually make it work. Most of the 0% cards that we qualify our clients for are 0% for 12 months. So you have the time to basically put it into different marketing campaigns, hiring your team, improving your service. And if things don't quite work out at first, you still have a very long time to basically test different things out. So that's why I really think that funding is such a powerful tool, because you can really have that resource and the allocation to put it towards different avenues. So you basically have an entire year to test, improve, and make more money. So in the first one here, I recommend that you basically just push through. You have that determination. Sometimes things might get a little gloomy in business. You might hit a plateau. You might have a slower month, but just because it's not going so great right now, you can just keep pushing. Typically, the brightest and shiniest days come right after the darkest storms. So you really want to have that confidence in your business on day one, whenever you get the funding, and you have to maintain that confidence even when things start to go down a little bit. And I know this happened to me. At first, when I first launched my business, we were trying different things out. I'd never launched a business that was selling on ads with social media. And so I had to try different things out. We tried the VSL ads, we tried DM ads, we tried boosting posts. And at first, we weren't really getting that much traction because I was brand new. But because I had a lot of resources available, I could pull from that and try small bits by bits on the different marketing strategies until I found one that worked. And the huge benefit here was that I actually had available capital to try different things out. If I was instead using personal savings, I would use whatever savings I had, potentially run out of money, and then wait until I made money on maybe my main job or my other side hustle to then put it back into my business, lose more time, right? With the funding, I'm able to try different things out at the same time and find that winner so much faster and then scale. That's exactly what we did. We found out that the best marketing strategy that worked for us tend to be DM ads, and then we tried different actual interests for the DM ads. So figuring out exactly what do people like that actually resonate with my message. And then once we found the right interests, we were able to double down and put it into different creatives. So we found the right interest, then I tried recording different videos, and then once we found the ad that worked, we just scaled it to the moon, right? We just put more money into that. And if you're running ads yourself, you're most likely shooting for a ROAS. So if you're going to put money into your business, you're expecting to make money out right away. And I think that's one of the funny things about business funding is that people are actually afraid to invest into their business. But overall, you have a lot of time to try different things out. Once you find the winner, scale it, and then you can make some more money so that then you can pay back the loan. And you can do all this within that 12-month period so that you never actually incurred any interest at all. And now you can basically continue and keep growing your business. So let's assume now that you really pushed your hardest inside your business, you try different things, and now the 12 months are up and you no longer have 0% interest, and you're going to start to pay a lot of interest on your actual financing. So what I would do from here is that you can actually extend the timeline that you have with your 0%. So most credit cards that we qualify for are going to be around that 12-month mark. Some of them might be a little bit higher, but once the interest is up, the credit card interest fees are pretty high. So what we could do from here is that you can basically qualify for other business credit cards that allow you to do balance transfers for 0%. And certain banks like US Bank allow you to balance transfer onto a new business credit card for 0% for another 21 months. So if you don't have the time to basically use the 0% to grow your business and make extra money, now you're sitting on some extra debt that would start to incur interest for you and have a lot of fees, where you could potentially qualify for some other business funding to refinance that debt into new 0%. So now you can basically push the timeline of your 0% up to 2 or 3 years in most cases. So that's one really good factor with the funding, is that although you might have used the balances on your credit cards and they might even be maxed out right now, that does not stop you from being able to qualify for new business funding, thankfully. On the personal side of things, if you have really high utilization, you're basically tapped out. You cannot get a new personal credit card. You can't even get business credit cards if your utilization is too high. But on the business side of things, even though you might have Chase credit cards completely maxed out, it does not stop you at all from getting new credit cards with Bank of America, US Bank, Wells Fargo, or basically any other bank. So if you were to get some funding through your business at one bank, you can use this strategically to, again, try to improve your skills, learn something new so you can grow your business, put it into ads, grow your team. The purpose here is for you to actually develop, right? I wouldn't get this funding to just buy some nice shoes or what have you. The purpose here is to allow you to grow faster. So if you have the funding and for whatever reason it does not work out, you have the 12-month period to really try different things and push it through. If that doesn't work out, now you can extend the timeline that you have with the balance transfer so you can continue to improve your skills, continue to try different things out, and now you have more time to actually manage that debt. If your 0% has ran out and you're basically at a standstill and you're really not able to manage this debt, the worst case scenario is that you can actually let it go to collections. So this will unfortunately really hurt your credit. Even if you have business funding that goes into default on the business, this will come back to your personal credit report and ding you pretty hard. So depending on how much funding you have as well, this could potentially add up a little bit. But thankfully, there are actual ways to repair your credit, right? Whatever happened on your credit report is completely fixable. We have helped clients before that have bankruptcies and collections and charge-offs and late payments. You can fix all of that. So that's the huge benefit here, is that although you might have lost on the business front and maybe you actually accumulated all this debt, you could potentially let it go to collections and then dispute the collection and get it removed. So this is kind of a worst case scenario, but it's totally doable. The caveat here is that you're probably going to spend a little time fixing everything and still having a lower credit score for potentially a couple months to 6 months. So that's really the negative here, and it'll probably cost you some money to actually learn that process and get the latest strategies. You're most likely not going to get that much results if you just use the basic scripts that are available online, since the credit bureaus, they can see the scripts that are used and they can see the letter templates that they're receiving every single day. If they see the same one too often, eventually they basically discredit it, so it doesn't become effective anymore. So if you use those that are online through Google or YouTube that are free, those are probably not going to get you that much results. So if you're having to remove all these negative items, you're probably going to have to actually go out and pay for the best results. So either hiring a credit repair agency. So if you do that, you want to make sure that it's a credible one that has a good track record. I would recommend against credit repair agencies that charge a monthly retainer, because it's in their interest to actually take a long time to fix your credit, because the longer you stay on, the more money they make. So it's kind of counterintuitive, but I would recommend just shooting for a credit repair agency that charges the one-time fee and make sure they've had good results. And the other way to do this is to simply learn a strategy. So go out there, find a coach or a mentor that can teach you this, maybe find a course as well. We have different programs that are available to teach you these different strategies. And these will be the strategies that are the latest and the greatest that'll actually get you results. So that's why even if you get some business funding and your business doesn't work out, you're not gonna be stuck in a lot of debt, basically underwater, stuck forever. There are a couple different options for you to actually take care of this. Maybe let it go to collections and get those collections completely removed. So those are all the different tricks that you can use to actually grow your business, qualify for some funding, and even in the worst case scenarios, you're never going to be completely stuck in a bad situation. You can really find a way to get out of it, and this will either come down to growing your business and trying to spend that time effectively to make some more money and pay it back. It might come down to you extending the 0% period so that you can actually have more time to figure out your business and make some more money. Or worst case scenario, you can always let it go to collection and then fix your credit as well. It's totally doable. So that's why funding is such a powerful tool. Even in the worst case scenarios, it's really not that bad. So that's why I recommend it for a lot of different people that actually want to grow their business. If they're confident in what they're actually doing and they just want to scale and basically dial everything up, then I think it's a very powerful tool to do so. But that's basically it. Let me know if you have any questions about anything in this video, such as the balance transfer cards or how to remove those collection accounts down below in the comments, and subscribe if you want to learn more about qualifying for the funding and growing your business.